is that AIPAC is not the end-all be-all problem when it comes to the Israel lobby. They have all of these NGOs, if you will, these nonprofit organizations that are simply running cover for the Zionist state. Now, if anybody knows anything about the congressional district that Jen ran in against Wasserman Schultz, it is one of the most Zionist-laden districts in the entire country. And Hollywood, Florida has one of the most privileged, psychopathic Zionist enclaves known as Emerald Hills.
It's not good, yeah.
And so this particular event was held not too far from there at a place called The Diplomat, which is right on Hollywood Beach, which is where all of these fancy shindigs ultimately end up taking place. And who was there but the two most powerful Zionist contributors in the respective two-party duopoly system that we live in today? On one hand, you have Sayam Habin, who is the mega donor Zionist for the Democratic Party. And on the other side, you have Miriam Adelson, the biggest Zionist donor of the GOP. And this is the grandiose event that they had over the weekend.
You and Sheldon created a lot of relationship over the years with politicians at the state level, especially at the federal level. I want you to share with everyone why is it so important and how do you do it? Again, writing checks is part of it, but there is more than writing just checks. So how do you do it?
Can you allow me not to answer?
She is one of the most grotesque individuals on the planet. So and for people who don't know South Florida, and she could be any South Floridian. Really, she blends perfectly. If she were walking around Hollywood or Hallandale Beach or Miami Beach or these places, she would blend perfectly. This is one of the many reasons why I had to move, because of people like her.
Basically between Boca Raton and Miami Beach,
it's full of people like this.
Full of people like her.
It's so unappealing. It's just, it's gross.
The thing that I also find very perplexing about this particular slice of the Jewish community is that they truly believe that they're attractive. Like, they think that they're good looking. They're actually.
I know. Pirate Justin, her accent is from Israel.
Yeah. Well,
she's Israeli, for whatever the hell that means.
Actually, no, she's not. She actually was born in Palestine.
Oh,
Talk about a conflict of historical interest.
Right. She's from the region, but her people she's from settler stock.
Yes.
Okay. She's from Ashkenazi settler stock, born in Palestine, and she's just so detestable.
Yeah.
You choose.
You chose.
I want to be truthful, and there are so many things that I don't want to talk about.
If I were to be truthful and tell the truth about how I have bought all of Congress and my friend here, Mr. Savin, we had this agreement years ago that I take the right and he take the left, and together we put it together and we have everybody.
No, she is not Semitic. She is most definitely not a Semite.
She's as white as a freaking ghost.
She was born in the region because her Ashkenazi parents migrated there. So she was born there. But her aunt, if she were to do a DNA test, I would bet you no Semitic DNA in her body.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want specific, but that's okay. But everyone should know here how important it is to get involved, because the reason that both of you were able to make huge differences is because you got involved and you spent a lot of time and yes, a lot of money on it.
And that's the reason.
Let it just finish. There's not that much left.
You got involved and you cared. And that's what everyone here need to know, that, complaining and doing nothing is not going to get us anywhere. And you guys have done completely the opposite. So thank you both.
Yeah, whoever's asking where she migrated from, it doesn't matter. Poland, Russia, Ukraine, wherever her parents were from. Some white ass Ashkenazi Jew-laden, Eastern European or Western Eurasian type of place. That's where her people are from. And
As
nobody
Gurley
cares.
Flynn- As Gurley Flynn points out, Tel Aviv,
mandatory Palestine, right?
yeah, and she'll never be able to shake that, no matter how much money she throws at her precious little state. That's the way it is. But remember, guys, you can't vote your way out of this, because the person that is sitting across from her, that's the person who makes sure that the Democratic Party, led by AIPAC Shakur, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and Chucky the Shoom, do exactly as they're told when it comes to the Zionist state. And here's Hayim Sebin.
Many sessions here about how important it is to get involved, to build a relationship with politicians, and to have access. And access and relationship can buy you influence, doesn't mean it's going to buy you. So you both master that. So can you share with us, I want everyone to learn today, how do you start, how do you build a relationship with the politician? I know there is always money involved.
You buy them. What kind of dumbass question is that? And then he says, oh, I know there's always money. There's only money. That's it. You know, then that's how you do it. You spend a shit ton of money. That's how you do it. That's how you cultivate that. What kind of dumbass question is that?
Let me tell you, Hollywood, Florida is a great example. It's a great example because there are certain places that you can go and you can see the distinct differences between the haves and the have-nots. But if you really want to see a town, a community where a lot of it is based on racial lines, for sure, but you can go to Hollywood, Florida, and you can see the poorest of the poor and the richest of the rich within a 10-mile radius.
Within a 10-mile radius?
Yeah.
You could see that within a 2-mile radius. Are you kidding me?
Maybe, yeah, maybe 2
The
miles.
parts of Hollywood where the mayor lives and where his whole family and all those people live versus like Liberia, that's not even 2 miles.
Yeah, it's kind of well, if you go to if you go to City Hall in Hollywood, it's an interesting setup because it's been this way for probably 100 years, because the way it was initially set up was that it came around like a circular roundabout. It's in a roundabout. It's in a very unique location. And what you can do at this roundabout is you can go in a variety of directions. And depending on what direction you go in, you're either in the good part of town or you're in the not so good part of town. So you're right. It's actually not, it's like a mile or two, but it truly is the definition of the haves and the have-nots.
So Algerian has a question. Funny how her money comes from casinos, betting, which is forbidden in Judaism. Can someone explain? I can explain, Algerian, because these are not Jews. They're cosplaying as Jews. They don't follow Judaism. Our Rabbi Shapiro, who's coming on next week, will tell you these are idol worshipers. Zionists predominantly are secular. Israel is a secular Jewish state, which I know that sounds weird because it doesn't make sense.
Do you know what Israel is to the average Zionist, ladies and gentlemen? Israel is the golden calf. That's what Israel is.
These are all idol worshipers. Yeah. So when you say that her money comes from casinos and betting, that's not Jewish. She's not a practicing Jew.
Not at all.
I'm not saying she doesn't light candles for stuff or whatever, but this is not someone who takes the tenets of Judaism seriously.
Correct.
Part of the system. But the relationship is not always just about money, because to have the access and to have the relationship to create an influence,
it's also about blackmail,
not just the money. So we have 4,000 people here. I want them to hear from the best, you and Miri, about how do you do that?
Well, Miri and Sheldon Yizichro Baruch have been much more generous than me, so why don't you turn around and ask her that?
I'm going to ask her, but you both made a lot of connection and made a big influence.
Now what I gave is this. This is what they gave is this.
But it's
the same principle. I understand what you're asking.
He's about to say, we make them offers they can't refuse. I don't know how he expects him to answer this question legitimately.
Notice how the two biggest Zionist financiers in American politics, they're not Americans. They literally are from another fucking country, and they have invaded our country. And when you stupid fucks out there go after people with no money and no power, but you don't say a fucking word about these two clowns, holy shit. You want to talk about an invasion of the United States? These people have taken over our country.
Oh, yes. Oh, no,
Taken it over.
it's definitely not where I am moving because no, thank you. But down in Florida, woo,
Yeah, forget South Florida's over. Over.
just let them have it.
It's, I want to be cautious it's a system that we did not create. It's a
No.
system that's in place. It's a legal system,
Oh, it is.
and we just play within the system, and that's it. I mean, it's just really quite simple. If you support a politician, you, under normal circumstances, should have access to be able to share opinions.
And there it is. If you give them the money, they are supposed to listen to what you want them to do. That is
And it
the
isn't
legal
just-
way
look,
it works
and-
in the system.
But we also do know that it isn't just money, but he's not going to talk about the other things either. The money is the nicest part of it. Bribery is the least of the offenses because the other things they do are threatening, bullying, extortion, blackmail. So there's all sorts of things that they do to get the politicians on their team. But heavy-handed threats, threatening their children's livelihoods, threatening their family businesses, that's the kind of things that they do. So he's not going to say that.
Yeah. When the Supreme Court decided that money is speech, this is the inevitable conclusion. And not that we weren't going to head there anyway. You know, I love how people think it's all about Citizens United. It isn't. Citizens United just confirmed it. They would have
Exactly.
figured out other ways to do it. So when people are like, we have to overturn Citizens United, Bernie, nice
Exactly.
idea. That doesn't solve the problem.
That's
Doesn't
their
solve
easy fix. That's
Correct.
their easy fix answer because one, they know it's never going to happen. And so they could keep saying it because it won't happen. And it wouldn't work because we were already basically there. Citizens United just sort of encapsulated it and put the final nail.
Absolutely. It just made it official. That's all.
Yeah.
Made it official.
And try to help them see your point of view. That's what access grants you. And the contribution and the financial support grants you the access. So, I mean, those that give more have more access, and those that give less have less access. It's a simple
Wow.
math, trust me.
It's simple
Get it.
math.
Simple
Simple
math.
math.
That really is incredible when you think about it. I mean, he's just.
I
putting
love
it
that they say the quiet part out loud now. This stuff used to be a lot more hush hush, and now it's just in full on view for the whole world to see the behind the scenes. It's like we have seen behind the curtain, and now we're just continuing to see this. But yes, that's how it works. They come in and they bully people financially and otherwise to do what they want them to do, and we've seen this at a local level. We've seen it. We know what happens.
Absolutely. And we see what happens when, I mean, listen, you know what the sad reality is, ladies and gentlemen? And you know who's sitting in that audience? Debbie Wasserman Schultz is 1000% at that event. And what I
Oh.
can assure you,
Sure of it.
and what I can assure you is that she is friends with both of them.
Oh,
It's-
absolutely. Oh, without a doubt, she is chummy with Miriam, or at least she thinks she is. For all we know, Miriam probably, like everyone else, thinks, "Oh God, here she comes," because she thinks we're friends. But yeah,
Well, I think Miriam and Wasserman Schultz like stood next to each other or something at the.
I'm
I
sure
think
they've stood next to each other
Yeah.
lots of times. That doesn't mean that anybody actually really likes Debbie.
But the point is that this is it's really this simple, and we're going to explain it in a different context when we get to Shapiro and Newsom. Is that you put the coin in, the politician has the coin dispenser. You put the coin in, and they talk, and they do rock'em
We
sock'em robot.
perform. They're
That's it.
circus seals. Yes, you pay them to perform for you.
Correct. And so now what you're going to see, which is going to crystallize this all together, is when you see a total puppet like Pam Bondi, you'll understand why. Miriam Adelson is finally going to say something.
Under her leadership, the Department of Justice has made combating anti-Semitism a top priority, especially in response to the alarming rise in incidents following October 7.
Could that be because of the way that Ziohel has gone about perpetrating a genocide? Could that be?
You are just being anti-Semitic. Don't you understand that you're a bad Jew too? You are a bad Jew. Bad Jew, Jim. Bad Jew.
I find her so gross.
She brings moral clarity, resolve, and an unwavering commitment to justice to this critical fight. Please welcome my friend, the 87th Attorney General of the United States, Pamela Bondi.
Can you pause for a second? I think that Pam Bondi was one of Epstein's girls. I think Pam Bondi comes from that circle ring. I do. I think that she's been involved with Trump since she was a teenager, and I think she comes up through the ranks of that entire system. I'm just saying.
No argument.
Miriam Adelson is amazing. What she has done for Israel, for our country, and for this world is second to none.
I'll give you that.
Now, always make sure to put Israel ahead of the United States. Now, I got to tell you, in my opinion, that's a Freudian slip. That's deliberate, and it's Freudian at the same time. Always put Israel first, so that way we know who actually is against the United States. I never say I'm for Palestine over America. I say I'm an American who's for Palestine. But everyone in that fucking room is saying I'm for Israel and I happen to live in America. They are mocking us, ladies and gentlemen, mocking us.
They just don't care what we think one way or the other. They're going to do what they want to do. They don't care what we think.
Hence the name of this channel. They're daring us to do it.
Thank you, my friend. The sad truth is, for way too long, anti-Semitism has been allowed to grow unchecked in this country. Too many institutions have abdicated their moral responsibility to speak up. Too many so-called leaders have stayed quiet. Actions have consequences, and inaction has consequences too. We've sued violent protesters under the FACE Act for intimidating Jewish Americans worshiping at synagogues. This is the first time since its passage, the FACE Act in 1994, that it has been used to protect a house of worship. Working with Secretary Linda McMahon, who has been a champion for you as well, and Harmeet, we have secured a $200 million settlement with Columbia University for
$200 million settlement with Columbia University.
Columbia is dead. They're dead. Like, they have no credibility as far as I'm concerned. Like, I to some extent do feel a little bad for people who have gone there and that's their alma mater, because they're shit. They are. They have no spine, no backbone. They are an embarrassment to what education is supposed to be in this country.
$200 million for doing what? What was their crime? What did they do?
They allowed campus protests. They allowed free speech.
200.
And people, I don't feel sorry for Bondi like she's a victim. I don't feel, I just happen to think she comes up from that traded group. I think that along the same lines of how Erica Kirk is an asset and has been put through this in different capacities as an asset. I think that's how Pam Bondi has been since teenagerhood. I think she's been used as an asset to this cause.
Violating the civil rights of Jewish students
Yeah.
and Jewish employees. We've secured a $75 million settlement with Northwestern University for anti-Semitic conduct.
I'm embarrassed.
We've secured a $60 million settlement with Cornell that includes provisions to halt anti-Semitic conduct. And we've launched a full investigation into University of California's system for systematic anti-Semitism.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure the University of California is systemically anti-Semitic. Yeah, that's what I think.
Now do you understand why they cave so easily? Why Cory Booker is a house Negro for the Zionist cause? Do you guys not see it? Do you not get it yet? There is so much fucking money to go around. And again, it's a shame that it's this way in politics, but it really is math, which is why I pointed this out earlier to Jen today, that right now it is looking, again, knock on wood, but it is looking very strongly like Thomas Massie is going to save his seat in Kentucky. He's a 75% by Polymarket's numbers. He's likely to be reelected at 75% clip right now. If he's able to win, then that will set the precedent that you don't have to continue down this path. But you know what else that shows, Jen? It shows how much more committed to actual principles true conservatives are than liberals are, because they hung Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, and a whole bunch of others out to dry. Not that they were anything to write home about, but these seats are not sacred. And to the Democratic Party typical voter, they are more in a cult than Republican voters are. Because when the powers that be tell them to get rid of Cori Bush and to get rid of Jamal Bowman, they don't even ask questions.
No, they get in line. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that your typical blue libs are definitely more cultish than your typical non-MAGA Republicans. Like, I'm not going to, you're just non-MAGA typical, if there isn't even that. Is there that anymore? Are there non-MAGA Republicans? But yes.
Well, let me tell you, one of the truths, again, the point of this entire video is exactly what Pam Bondi said at the end, which is we get all the money. We get the money. You give me money. I go out there. I do my job. And then the next thing you know, we get these settlements, these astronomical, absurd settlements over nothing.
Well, they're going to need that because they're being sued. This administration is being sued in so many different ways all around the country that I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Well, what the hell is money anymore anyway?
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I don't know, for people who don't know, but Donald Trump has been sued personally more than 1,000 times in his life. And that was before being president, which
it's all a hoax. It's a total hoax. You don't know what you're talking about.
That's a level of, that's insane for people who don't know. Like, that's insane. I've never been sued once. There are people that, depending on their profession, that occasionally it does happen. I'll give you that. But 1,000 times, that's just, yeah.
Imagine caving that hard. And it also goes to show you, this just reaffirms the anti-Jew stereotype that can't shake itself, and it's never going to. Because the Jews in that room, who are extremely affluent and wealthy, exert every single stereotype in the book. Money, power, affluence, influence, strategy, control, corruption, future endeavors, all at the expense of the American taxpayer and citizen. And yet we sit here and we take it. How much longer are we going to take it?